it's so good to be back on another episode of Crucial Conversations, the Strong Woman series. On today's episode, I have the pleasure of interviewing another strong woman. She's had to deal with a lot of transitions in life. She's moved from full-paid employment to staying back home to take care of her family, and then she's been an entrepreneur within Nigeria and out of the shores of Nigeria, and finally today she's in full-time ministry. I'm sure you agree with me that that's some great transitions. She's here to say her story herself, and there's a lot we're going to be learning from her today. Please welcome with me Mrs. Ayodeji Lawrence.
Thank you very much. So good to be here on the show.
Can we get to know you? Can you just introduce yourself to us?
My name is Ayodeji Lawrence. I'm from a family of 7. At the moment, I'm married to Oluwafemi Bernard Lawrence. We have 3 children, a boy and 2 girls. I coordinate the Praying Hannah's ministry in this season of my life. I think basically that's...
How long have you been married?
I've been married for 18 years.
Whoa. And I think it was your anniversary recently.
About 2 weeks ago.
About it. Wow. So let's go back to the very beginning where it all started out. When you were young, what did you see? What did you see yourself becoming in future?
Wow.
What was your dream?
Okay.
Job or dream life?
Well, while I was young, I wanted to be a doctor. And even my secondary years, I was in the science class. But because of my health, I struggled with nephrotic syndrome, while growing up. And I knew there was no way I could manage the stress, of my keeping up with my health and also studying to go in for medicine. So I had to give up on that dream of being a medical doctor. But thank God I was able to move to mathematics. So
are you grateful for that?
Yes, I'm grateful because everything I do today still ties into the mathematics and computer background.
Can you let us know better what nephrotic syndrome is and what your experience has been with that?
Okay, well, it was first diagnosed when I was 5 years old. My mom noticed my lower abdomen was swollen, and I was taken to the hospital. And nephrotic syndrome is something you have to manage. It doesn't have a cure, as it were. You find out that the kidney leaks out the protein, all the protein you're taking in is being leaked out in your urine. At some point it went into remission, so we thought we were good. But by the time I was in my early teen years, it surfaced again. So it was really something I had to battle with going in and out of the hospital. It was such a traumatic experience for me. Wow. I lost my hair in the process because you need protein for you to have healthy hair, healthy nails. So I lost my hair in the process. It wasn't funny because at that point in time, you're just growing up, your friends will ask you questions. There was even a point in time I had to deal with incontinence. So imagine you're in class and you're just wet, you've weed all over yourself, So it was really a tough season for me. My social life wasn't so robust. I was just into myself,
So eventually, would you say that your social life not being robust was as a result of the medical challenges you were dealing with?
I would say that, because now I find out I'm a different person. I mix with people. I can share my stories. Before now,
here today.
Yes. Before now, you won't catch me talking. Even up until when we got married, I was still not yet out of that shell. When we go out, my husband will nudge me. You'll talk now. Say something. Say something. I'll just be quiet, listening to what every other person has to say. Because I was used to just being quiet. I don't want you to ask me any question. I don't want you to find out anything about me. Just let me be.
So what was now your follow-up trend, so to say, when you were in the university?
The years in the 90s, banking was the hype. So I felt, okay, I have done maths. I have a bit of computer science. I should be able to go into the banks and everything. But God had another plan for me. Fortunately, I was able to get a job with an IT company, System Specs, and that was where, I built my love for computing the more, such that by the time I left, I now went for my postgraduate diploma in computer science. Yes, so that was, I got into system specs in 1999. I got married 2000. Left system specs 2002.
2002. So
Yes.
before we jump to you leaving system spec, so 1999 to 2002, so to say
Yes.
that's about 3 years.
Yes.
You know, so you had a dream of building your career.
Absolutely.
You were not planning to leave.
Oh no,
after
I wasn't.
3 years.
No, I wasn't.
So after you got married, yes, you were doing well
Yes, I
on
was.
your job,
I
and
was.
you wanted to build your career and get to the peak of your career. So why did you
Okay.
have to?
We had our first child, and I went back to work. The pressure of work was so much. The kind of job I was doing, I was in quality assurance, and most of the time the developers would program in the mornings, and it's around 5, they will drop the programs for the codes for you to look at. So that means you're looking at the code from about 6 to about 10 p.m. and you have a baby. So I found out it was not something I could, cope with at that point in time. There were times where I would have gone to pick my son from the creche. He would just be there with me. He would leave the office around 10.
So if you pick him like 6,
he'll still be
there.
there with me. So we are leaving work sometimes around 10, And I just found out it wasn't something I really wanted to do. It wasn't so easy, leaving it, but I had to weigh the options. What do I really want at that point in time? And I'm so blessed. My boss, the MD, is such a nice man. He said, Ayo, just take your time. When you're ready to come back to work, we'll take you back. So that was how I left.
So what would you say was the difference with you sitting back at home full time? Because some people say sitting back, we know it's not sitting back.
It's not sitting
Taking
back.
care of your family full time, and then you being actually in the marketplace full time working as a professional.
Yes.
How were you able to, what was the difference, and how were you able to, move into this new phase and settle in?
Well, staying back at home, the first few months, it was for me, I'm on leave. I started with that mindset. Okay, you're on your annual leave, So I settled into it, rested, But as the days went by, the reality dawned on me that, okay, this leave is unending. You have to now do something with yourself. Yes, you are home, but you have to do something. And that was how I ventured into entrepreneurship.
How easy was it for you to make that transition?
It was a bit tough from someone who never used to talk, to someone having to convince people I have this. I just encouraged myself.
So how long did it take you before you got back to, because I think you went back to
Yes, I went back to work. That was 2008.
2008.
Yes.
So you actually had that break
Yes, it
from
was such a long time.
2002 to 2008, 6 good years, or 2007,
Seven,
thereabout. What made you think it was time to go back?
I found out that, the businesses were not really bringing in enough money, and the children were growing up. I really needed to support Mr. Lawrence.
And money is very important.
It's very important. So I had to go back to work. And fortunately, I remembered my boss told me, Ayo, when you're ready to come back, we'll take you.
Okay.
So it was just a call.
So you actually went back to system specs?
I went back to system specs. I just put a call through to my MD, and he said, come.
Wow.
It was that same day I was taken back.
So this time around, you were like, let me dig in. It's time for me now to start building my
this
career and start shooting everything up. And what happened?
2010, we had to relocate.
Wait. So you're telling me that you came back 2008. First, it was 3 years.
Now
2 years. Why did you now have to relocate?
Well, my husband's, his job took us to Nairobi, Kenya. So I had to. I'm a family person.
Okay.
There are some people that will say, no, I'll stick with my job. You go. and you can keep coming back. I'll come and meet you. But I'm not that kind of a person, and he's not that kind of a person as well. So for us, it was a sacrifice, because there was nothing. The children were grown. It wasn't that maybe I have to stay home, as it were, but it was a sacrifice for me to leave and just
To
come
leave. And so it was the fact that you guys identified this is who we are.
Yes.
These are the
Values.
our value system.
Yes.
This is what is important to us.
us.
So it is God first, family, then we
then
now
every
start
other
talking,
thing can.
about our profession.
Yes.
But didn't you feel, yes, this is our values. He's building his own career. Why do I always have to be the one
to do that?
to give up?
I was so fortunate, let me say that, because when I told my boss, again, that I was leaving, he said, Ayo, I'm not going to take your resignation letter. You're still working with us. So while in Kenya, I was working.
No, wait, come again. I don't think we quite get that. So you need to relocate?
Yes.
Did they have an outlet in Nairobi, Kenya or
No,
something?
I was working internet now, technology.
So you were that good? Again, you had to, like step out and then go to a different environment, to, go with your husband to Nairobi, Kenya. How did that play out? How was that? And now you're moving with 2 children.
With 2 children. Having to go to Kenya, we knew it was God ordained. God had a hand in the whole process, and going there. The first 2 months was really for me to rest as well, as usual. I like rest. No, I like rest.
Yes,
I like
because rest actually helps us to pull back and then launch forward.
So I was able
stronger.
to rest. Then I started asking myself questions. Yes, I am still working for system specs, but there's still more time to do other things. And I looked around. What's the need here? This new place. I quickly got myself, integrated into the Nigerian community. I was actually the secretary of the Association of Nigerian Women in Kenya for the 4 years we were in Kenya. Yes. So I got integrated into the system, and I looked around. What's the need here? What can I do? What service can I provide, for the people? And I found out my people. We like our mama very well, and it wasn't there. So I went to the abattoir. So instead of throwing away the skin, I taught them how to, get the hair off the skin to skin, and I started packing in kilos.
Wow.
I also delved into cow tail, ox tail. They don't eat it as well there. They use the stock as a soup over there. They don't really use so I started packaging that one too, and I was selling to the Nigerian community. Wow. I learned how to bake meat pie the Nigerian way. I was selling that as well. Chin chin, I was selling. At some point, I started making puff puff. So when you have parties, and I was giving that to them for their small jobs. I was making akara, things that they won't readily see around in Nairobi. So for me, that was a niche, and it was a huge market.
Yes. How was your experience? How was your stay?
It was beautiful. I will say that. God actually went ahead of us. It was a beautiful experience that would always cherish. I call Nairobi my second home. And each time I talk about it with good memories. It was a very beautiful experience, good exposure. We met with so many people, When the president from Nigeria is coming to Kenya, then we are one of the people that would receive him. So for me, it was a beautiful exposure. And I'll say it was even at that point in time that my social life began to blossom. Because I didn't have a choice than to meet with the who's, who is who in Nairobi, Kenya.
Yeah.
Having to go for dinners with my husband and things like that. So it was a beautiful, beautiful experience.
So I'm going to do something. I'm going to shift away from this, your job, your career, and I'm going to go back. I'm going to get a bit personal, if you don't mind.
It's okay.
Okay. So yes, you've dealt with medical challenges at the beginning. I think the first thing you had to deal with was the nephrotic syndrome,
yeah.
you know, so to say. And in teenage years, by the time, because you told us at the beginning, it's not something that can be cured. It's something that has
to live with,
to be, you know, managed.
managed.
So as a teenager, it was a great challenge. But when you got to the university, it got really better.
Much better.
So you could launch out in life even though you still had to. So even when you came into the secular and you started working, the challenge was still there?
Nephrotic syndrome had, let me use the word, disappeared.
Okay.
And if
Can
you
you
permit me,
explain?
let me
Yes.
just share how it happened. Normally I go for checkups just to be sure that, okay, how bad is it, you know, and things like that. And for a while, I did not. But while in that season, you know, I grew my faith, read books, took communion.
You were married by this time?
No, I wasn't.
You were
I
not,
wasn't.
okay.
I was still in the uni, secondary, going into the uni. Read books, listened to CDs on health, you know, healings and all. So I actually trusted God for my healing because I knew medicine couldn't help me. They've said it's point blank. They can't help me. They can just manage it. And I wanted to, you know, to live. I wanted to fulfill purpose. So I had to trust God, you know, for my healing. And there was a point my doctor then said, Ayo, it's been a while you came for your checkup. You need to come in for it, you know. And I told him, I just told my mom, I said, I'll go for this to fulfill all righteousness. I just said that. I can never forget, you know. I said, I'm going for this test to fulfill all righteousness. And by the time I went in for the test, it read negative. And since then,
So by immersing yourself in the Word of God,
yeah.
trusting God,
for my
believing God, you were able to, and since that time till now, we're talking about how many years?
that happened when I was 21. And now I'm going to 43.
Wow.
You know, we are counting down. You know.
Wow.
Yes.
So you
So
can
like
see that
30,
was a
20
huge,
something years.
testimony.
Yes.
And I know you've had to deal with different medical challenges
Yes.
after that.
Asthma, depression, suicidal thoughts, you know. I've had to deal with those.
And then when I ask again, I'll say it's you. You know,
But I'm glad, you know, with the benefits of hindsight now, I'm so glad I've had to go through all those things. Because now that I'm in ministry, I'm able to bring all those experiences to bear. So when someone comes to me who is depressed, I feel what the person is feeling. You know, those days that I used to be depressed, some people say, "You snap out of it now. Just snap out of it." They don't understand. You can't just snap out of it. You want to come out, but you can't just. It's all just dark. It's all gloomy. You're trying to find, you know, the light, but you can't just. So when someone comes to me and tells me that, I can't tell the person to just snap out of it because I've been through it and I know what it is.
so if I may take you back, I know, okay, you dealt with asthma was the next thing. What healed you of that too?
Was
You know,
healed.
as well.
I even had that till I got married. So there were days my husband would have to rush me to the hospital to get the shots to clear my airways, you know. But thank God, everything just like that.
So at what point did you start thinking, okay, is this depression? Is this, what were the things, I think first I would say, what were the things that you felt contributed to that happening? And then when were you able to settle in and accept? Because it's something a lot of women, you know, are
Struggle
battling
with.
with. Yeah.
For me, what contributed to depression was finding myself. I'm someone that can do so many things. I'm so blessed. I'm so gifted. And, you know, I couldn't really say this is Ayo because I'm a woman of so many parts. So finding myself was a challenge to me. It was depressing. It was really, really depressing.
Do you think the transitions you had to deal with and all the medical challenges you had to deal with too were a contributing factor?
I wouldn't say no. I guess
What of the
there
pressure
were,
of the family?
sacrifices
Sacrifices you had to
having
make?
is the only need. Do I have to be, like you said, do I have to be the one that will leave work, you know, to sit at home with the children? So I guess that one as well was a contributing factor.
So what were the things you experienced?
like I said, everything is just hazy, gloomy. Life didn't really have meaning, as it were. You know, it was really, I'm trying to put
Put it into words.
Yes. But things were not just for me. You know, you have a hope, you have aspiration, and it's like right before you, things are not just working out the way you thought. There was even a day I wanted to commit suicide with my sister. On Third Mainland Bridge. I was driving home from church. It was after rehearsal in church. I had the children with me in the car. And I was just like, let's just end this whole thing. Let me just drive into this lagoon. But you know, I just had a thought in my heart that even if you're going to kill yourself, leave these ones. You know, and that was how I warded it off.
Did you talk to anybody?
I did not. I tell people that I talk more on the inside. And more to God. Why is this happening? I don't understand.
Did you seek for any medical help
No,
or any professional help? Why?
No, I did not. I don't know then. But I would always tell people now that there's more knowledge out there. If you find yourself, because it took me a long time to come out of it. If you find yourself, it took me so many years.
How were you able to do all the things you were doing in spite of?
I think God just strengthened me to be able to. I'll say, like I said, I can't take out the God factor. And because He has given me so much grace and gifts, I was able to still pull through with all that is happening on my inside.
So we can say at the end of the day, the same way by faith you were able to trust God to heal you
me,
of nephrotic syndrome, heal you of asthma.
Yeah.
You were able to trust God to break you free from depression.
Yeah.
So I know that at that point we're moving, you know, now you're settled into business, you know, you're doing well. Yes, we talked about you having 2 children. And if I can remember, you were done.
Yes.
Gina, done.
Yes.
But at the beginning, you told us that you have 3 children. I like the way you're laughing.
Yes.
So, what happened?
What happened? Life happened.
So, when you found out that you were pregnant,
It wasn't funny.
but you had been pregnant before,
There was nothing baby around me. So it was...
were you already started business then?
Yes.
So
but it didn't stop. You know, business now, you can still do it with your big... It didn't disturb my business. It was just the emotional part of it. And our calculations have been altered.
Wow.
You know.
So she ended up being a special gift
special
that God
gift.
gave to you. And I've met her, she's such a darling.
Oh, yes, she
She's
is.
such a beautiful gift.
is,
So here
she
you
is.
are, 3 children. Okay, let's settle in. I'm supporting my husband. I'm in business. I'm doing
very
ministry
well.
by the side, you know, and everything. Life continues. But here you are seated with me in Nigeria.
Yes, ma'am.
And I know that I did not fly you in from Nairobi this morning.
No, you didn't.
What happened?
In 2014, October, we were told it's time to go back home. That there's a position here in Nigeria for my husband to take up. And that was it.
How easy was it for you to...
To be candid, sis, it was easy.
Wow.
Because we enjoyed each day.
And I think by now you had that experience
of
making
having to
different
move.
transitions.
Yes.
Oh.
You know, so immediately we started processing the children's school here in Nigeria. We already had the kind of place we would like to live, you know, and things like that. So we just hit the ground running. And we're so favored even by the organization when we're coming back home. So by December, we were out of Nairobi. So I picked up my business. I'd already registered a company before leaving Nigeria, so I picked it. And the cookery business was on, you know, so I decided to just package everything and start running.
So why didn't you just stay with business, JJ?
2016, the food business had taken off, and I actually had a contract with one of multinationals to cater for their training for a week. And for the first time in my life, I was afraid. But before then, I've been having nudges that it's time to, really be where God wants me to be. So I had to go on a retreat. So it was during that retreat that I knew I was meant to focus on the Praying Hannah's ministry. And coming from that retreat, I didn't even confer with man.
You were just sure it was time for you to transition into facing them.
Because of my kind of person, I knew, and God knows, that I can't do the two together. One will suffer.
Some people can.
Yes, but for me, at that point in time, I had to focus on building that ministry.
So can you tell us what the ministry is about?
Praying Hannah's ministry, it's basically an intercessory ministry, and we leverage so much on technology. So mostly our women get the prayer outlines via email every weekday. Then apart from that, we have the Hannah's Empowerment Center. We also have the Large Heart Initiative of the ministry. The Large Heart Initiative deals with meeting the needs of people, widows, orphans, prisoners. We work with prostitutes as well. And one major project on our hearts under the Large Heart Initiative now is to have halfway houses. So we're trusting God to be able to have halfway houses all over, such that prisoners, prostitutes can be integrated into the society after they've gone through our program.
So how's your experience being in ministry compared to being an entrepreneur, compared to being a professional?
Being in ministry has been quite fulfilling. I've been able to reach more people. I've been able to impact more lives. The places I wouldn't have been able to go if I were to be a professional just behind my desk, I've been able to go there. The interiors, going on mission trips and things like that. Actually just came back from one yesterday. So for me, it's been fulfilling, meeting the needs of people raw. It's been a bit challenging, but God has been faithful. We've seen him several times.
Hallelujah.
We've seen him come up, show up for us in the Praying Hannah's ministry. It's been amazing, awesome, in ways we've never thought. Now I've entered rest, as it were, when it comes to doing ministry. And God has been faithful. Wow. He has sent men, beautiful people out my way. My board of trustees, awesome. The officers, amazing.
So you can tell me that seated here today, the journey you've had to take, the transitions you've had to deal with, you look back today and you say, God, I'm grateful.
Oh, yes.
Because, but for these things, I will not be the Ayo that I am today. Yeah. And the Ayo that is seated here today, you love it better.
Oh, yes.
Than the Ayo that used to be.
Oh,
or the Ayo that could have been if everything, worked out perfect. Do you want to say anything to anybody out there that is dealing with whatever you've had to deal with, or dealing with crazy transitions, as it were?
Yes.
Based on your experience, what would you want to say to them?
Yes, I'd like to encourage anyone out there to, first of all, one, trust God, very important. Then, be bold and fearless. It's only the bold and the fearless that can take hold of those things God has made available to him or her. So, be bold and be fearless. Thank you.
All right. So she's told you be bold, be fearless, trust God, because transitions come when they're placed in the hand of God to actually bring out the best, so to say. You might think you have the best deal right now, but why not trust God? God is going to take your transitions. God is going to take your pain. God is going to take your struggles. God is going to take your sacrifices at the end of the day and bring out the best of your story. We look forward to you sharing your own story as well, as it were, and saying, like Joseph was able to say to his brothers, you guys meant it for evil, but my God meant it for good. By the time he was saying that, what was he saying? I'm grateful for the pits. I'm grateful for the prison. I'm grateful for the betrayal. I'm grateful for my experiences so far. I'm grateful for the man that I have become. The same way God has been able to transition different individuals is the same way God is willing to take your transitions and make you a better person. And the best of you is about to emerge in the name of Jesus. You're not going to cave in under this pressure. You're not going to get broken down under this change, so to say. The sacrifices that you're making is nothing compared to the harvest that God has in stock for you. At the end of the day, like, she's looking back to say, I'm grateful. That's the same way you are going to look back and say, I'm grateful. I'm grateful for who I've become. I'm grateful for the gift of life. And I'm grateful for the impact I'm able to make because of the transitions that God has gifted me with. God bless you. And I look forward to coming your way again sometime soon. Bye for now.